Primeape going to invest the final Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Thunder Punch. We're then going to throw 4 Karate Chops and the Rage Fist, meaning the second Incinerate will not register. Primeape going to leave boosted with residual energy good to go. Down goes Typhlosion. The opponent sends out their own Primeape. If this is their best answer to an energy boosted Primeape, my, this trainer's in trouble. Close combat. Picks up the one shot. Out comes Greninja. But Greninja going to find itself straight in and straight out. GG's and thanks for playing. Welcome back to the channel. Today is day 2 of Jamie Finn 1415 trying to climb from the pits, AK 2139 elo all the way to legend rank. My channel usually prioritises showcasing as many unique and spicy triple shadow teams as I physically can, hence my elo dropping all the way to the 2100s. A shout out to Selgor, a Pokemon that lost me 300 elo in a single day. I did actually ask the question, who would like to see me continue to run some complete shadow nonsense, or who would like to see me climb? Quite a few of you said that I should make a push, so here we are. Yesterday we was able to go 14-1 with Shadow Typhlosion, Chestnut and Drapion. That video can be found on the channel. Today we're stepping it up in the Open Ultra League using my favourite team of Drapion Double Fighter. I'd actually go as far as to say that Shadow Primeape is the best investment I have ever made, and you're going to see why today. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we're going to lead the channel mascot Shadow Drapion into Grand Ball. Today's team, of course, is an ABB team. Drapion's role on the team is to operate as the anti-fairy, anti-psychic, so very nice to catch the Charmer in the lead position. We throw 7 Poison Stings and the Aqua Tail, not only for optimal fast move time, but also looking to fake a potential Sludge Bomb. The opponent shields the first Aqua Tail, they actually 2-shield Grand Ball, looking for that tap, charm down, farm down, but Drapion says no, reaches the Aqua Tail, and able to set us up with a 2-0 shield advantage. We make the pivot into Primeape, and out comes Virizion. Shadow Primeape is one insanely glassy Pokemon, but able to survive a Leaf Blade. One close combat won't be lethal, so I'm going to throw the Rage Fist first. We're then going to throw 3 Karate Chops, throw the close combat on the charge attack priority. The opponent has no shields. We all know how this one's going to end. Down goes Virizion. The opponent sends out Gator. They get the Shadow Claw farm down with a 2-0 shield advantage. We're going to be off to a very quick 1-0 start. The opponent essentially playing out the inevitable. But I guess if the opponent wants that work, who am I not to give it to him? We're going to reach the close combat. Going to be moving Gator from the field of play. And we're going to be moving very quickly on to battle number 2. Once again, we see the Fairy in the lead position. The opponent say switches into Gator. My team doesn't have a great answer for a Gator up energy. So we're going to fire off the Crunch. Crunch goes unshielded. We then make the pivot into Primeape. Of course, alignment is absolutely paramount in this battle. We don't want an Annihilape align with that Clefable. I'm going to farm up, throw the Rage Fist on the CMP tie. Maximising my farm, and if the opponent shields, I just shield and Karate Chop farm down. The opponent reluctant to invest the Protect Shield, send back out Clefable. Primeape fires off the boosted Rage Fist, doing some decent chip damage. We're then going to fire off the next Rage Fist. At this point, the opponent did receive the energy for the Moonblast, but they smartly opt to overfarm. The opponent can't overfarm too much more as we'd reach yet another Rage Fist. The opponent smartly opt to throw the Swift. Swift removes me from the field of play. They now have the energy for the Moonblast. Of course, Moonblast would be very easily survivable from here, but I believe I know what's in the back. I was thinking it was going to be Golurk, so I invested that knowing I'd need to reach back-to-back crunches. Potentially, I made a bad team call as out comes Stunfisk. We land the Aqua Tail, go for the Mud Bomb catch onto Annihilape, but the catch attempt is unsuccessful. Switch timers are now misaligned. So what we need to do is we always need to ensure we've got residual energy good to go. The opponent can throw one further charge move and it is survivable. The opponent's now 1 Thunder Shock off the next charge move, so I throw this Rage Fist on the charge attack priority. Rage Fist isn't quite lethal, but leaves him on a fraction of HP. This works out perfectly for me, as the opponent's going to get no farm on Clefable. They actually go for the undercharge, looking to get the Fairy Wind farm down. We save Annihilape on a fraction of HP and make the pivot back into Drapion. Drapion fires off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Drapion outside of Moonblast range. The opponent fire off the Moonblast. Drapion withstands the damage, reaches the next Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail removes Clefable from the field of play. We're going to look to Poison Sting farm down the opponent. We actually simulcare, but Annihilape is alive and I escape with the dub. Things getting a bit sweaty. In the next battle, we see a Purified Pidgeot in the lead. Most Pidgeot you're going to see in Ultra League will be running Legacy Gust, but this opponent probably Elite TM'd it to Legacy Wing Attack, and they're still running that. We can survive one Brave Bird. I'm really hoping the opponent Feather Dance bait. The opponent actually falls in the Brave Birds who make the pivot into Primeape. Primeape going to overfarm and look to fire off the Rage Fist. Rage Fist is double resisted. With a debuff defense, we'll remove them from the field of play. The opponent invests that Protect Shield, saving Pidgeot, and then send out Virizion. Shadow Primeape's now found itself in the position it loves to be in, with energy and a shield advantage. We shield at the Sacred Sword, full send the close combat, the opponent looks to call the bait, they get one shot vanquish, back to their Pokeball, out comes Typhlosion, and once again we're full sending, does the opponent respect the damage? They do not, down goes Typhlosion, we pivot into Annihilape, the opponent doesn't want the smoke, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Gliscopod in the lead, the back line doesn't really like to see this, so nice to catch it in the lead. The opponent farming up a boatload of energy, we can tank any one move. It's paramount that the crunch lands on its intended target, as if the opponent makes a catch, we'll be very far behind, so I pause a turn, ensuring I see Gliscopod on my screen, we fire off the crunch, which goes unshielded, and we're able to get the defense drop. I am going to invest the Protect Shield here, as we need Drapion for any potential Psychic or Fairy type. I'm then going to farm up, throw the Aqua Tail. As we got the defense drop, Aqua Tail will be lethal. The opponent now receiving the energy for the X-Scissor. I try and make the X-Scissor catch onto Primeape unsuccessfully. The opponent then sends out Gator, and you know the drill. Full send the close combat. Close combat sneaks through the protection and rocks them deep into the red health. Primeape has done its job, near nuking one opponent, so we're just going to save the final Protect Shield for Gator. I'm going to send out Gator, commit to the counter farm down and look to get an energy lead. The opponent's already shown X-Scissor, so I'm anticipating their second move being Liquidation. With that in mind, we can survive anything. The opponent fire off the Liquidation, Annihilape able to counter farm down. The opponent then sends out their own Drapion. I'm going to reset my debuff and start going for the Aqua Tail spam. The first Aqua Tail doesn't do all that much damage, but we've got so much energy. All we really need to do here is get them in a range where I could just counter farm down. I'm never ever going to shield my Drapion. The opponent farms up as much as they can. One quick move before they play to the CMP type. Aqua Tail removes me from the field of play. The opponent going to look to reach double Aqua Tails, but they simply don't have enough HP. We're going to shield at the Aqua Tail. Annihilape going to be able to counter farm down Drapion, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see the battle of the poison types. Drapion with the pace and advantage, but Squidward has the bulk and has that potential to debuff my attack with Scald. We've also got the debuff chance with Crunch, which is a 30% chance. We land the first Crunch. Unfortunately, getting no defense drop. It's unlikely they bait, but one Scald, very survivable. I'm then going to throw this next Crunch. So at this point, if I instantly pivot, Primeape is going to be able to CMP tie to the next Scald. We make the pivot into Primeape. We're able to win that charge attack priority, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent opts to invest the protection. I'm happy to match. It's 8-7 to the Scald. The opponent full send the Scald. I'm very grateful they don't throw the Acid Spray bait. They then send out Drapion. I was hoping the opponent throw the Aqua Tail before I debuff my defense, but I'm going to throw this close combat on 6, and it's important to do it on 6 because this is potentially a Sludge Bomb. Close combat forces the opponent's final protection. They do actually have the Sludge Bomb nuke. Fair play. I am a big fan of Sludge Bomb in the Open Ultra League. In this particular team comp, I think it's mandatory you have Aqua Tail because Talonflame is a big headache. I'm going to send out Annihilape. The opponent fire off the Crunch. I'm then going to farm up. The opponent go for the close combat catch, which I didn't intend to throw. We fully counter farm down Squidward. We leave with all the energy in the world. The opponent doesn't want the smoke and they concede the match. And that is going to bring us to the end of set number 1, where we was able to go a very nice 5-0. Heading into the next battle, we see Skeledirge in the lead. The opponent says no thank you and say switch into Hydreigon. A very, very spicy Pokemon. This thing's got a monstrous attack stat, as you're going to see by just how much this Brutal Swing does. After tanking the Brutal Swing, the opponent can potentially take back switch, but that's fine for me. As shield advantage Primeape, can have no problem dealing with Skeledirge. The opponent does indeed invest that protection and commit to the Dragon Breath farm down. We send out Primeape. The opponent only going to reach a Brutal Swing, which is resisted. Brutal Swing not going to do too much, and Primeape has got a running start. Back out comes Skeledirge. Of course, good fast move timing, 2 quick moves and the charge move. Ideally, I want to throw 2 or 7, but after this point, I am going to throw after 4. Look to force the final protection or the knockout. If the opponent's shields, will make the pivot back into Drapion with 2-0 shield advantage. We make that pivot into Drapion. I've got no idea what's in the back as the opponent runs for the hills. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see Dragonite in the lead. Most people opt for the Shadow variant. This one is the regular variant. The opponent throws as soon as they get the Dragon Claw, meaning I get a free Poison Sting. We're going to tank the Dragon Claw, farm up, return fire with the Crunch. Shadow Dragonite would probably shield. The regular variant actually opts to tank the damage. We then make the pivot into Primeape, knowing we're going to be able to outpace the Rage Fist. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. If they shield, I'm happy to match. The opponent reluctant to shield, let go of Dragonite, and then send out Venusaur. Primeape has a monstrous attack stat. It's like 182 in Ultra League. You're able to CMP tie more or less everything. We throw the Rage Fist on the CMP tie. I've got 2 shields. I don't know what's in the back, but I'm happy to at least invest 1. Looking to force 1 shield back off the opponent. Annihilape is going to do better with less shields in play. Once again, we farm up, throw on CMP. The heavily boosted Primeape forced to protect shield. So the pacing for Frenzy Plant is 6, then 5. Venusaur has a higher attack than Drapion, so we're going to throw 4 Poison Stings and the Crunch. Arguably an Aqua Tail would knock out from here, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Crunch picks up the knockout, Drapion leaves with energy good to go. The overfarm is going to enable me to reach a Crunch at this outcoming Gator. Crunch forced the final protection, make the pivot into Annihilape, and this game is going to be signed, sealed and delivered. We're going to easily survive a Hydro Cannon from the regular Gator. I opt to tank the damage, hoping the opponent would top left. They're actually playing it out to the very bitter end, so we're going to shield up the next one. We've now received the energy for the close combat, and close combat from half health, going to be massive overkill, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we found ourselves a problem. G-Weezy is one of the trickiest leads to play out with this line of 3. They're a fairy, but they're also a poison type, meaning my poison type damage is only neutral. They also double resist fighting. Either a player off an overheat would do a lot. Well, I hate shielding because every time I've shielded, I've been brutal swing baited. This opponent able to land the overheat through 2 protect shield, and we're not off to the best start. The opponent continued to stay in. We land the Aqua Tail and then make the pivot eventually into Primeape. Primeape once again baits out Venusaur. Things not looking fantastic. ABA Poison. The opponent actually ends up playing to the CMP tile. They do not win. Close combat is resisted, but I'm hoping it knocks out. Close combat. Heartbreakingly leaves them a fraction of HP. I could shield and farm down, but I think it's a wasted shield. As with a debuff defense, it's not really worth shielding in my opinion. We send out Drapion, Poison Sting, farm down, back out comes G-Weezy. They are going to fire off the Brutal Swing, and I'm hoping Annihilape can cheese its way through the team, especially as that Brutal Swing doesn't knock out. We've technically got 3 shields. I'm going to shield up this Brutal Swing, look for the counter, farm down. The opponent only going to reach a Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing doesn't get the same type attack bonus. My Annihilape IVs are garbage. The opponent lands the Brutal Swing and then send out Stun Fist. The opponent still with 2 protections. I'm thinking win con, land the close combat through 2 protections. I force in the close combat, which unfortunately goes shielded. The opponent farms up 11 Thunder Shocks, which is 99 energy. We invest the Protect Shield, make the catch, back onto Drapion. However, I think it's simply too little too late. I send back out Annihilape. Look to reach the double charge moves. Unfortunately, we get outpaced, and we are going to take our first loss of today's video. GG's for that opponent. Rage Fist wouldn't have even knocked him out there. I think potential win con for me was the opponent trying to make a catch, me counter farming down, and then perhaps full sending a close combat, or the opponent shielding the first Rage Fist and the second knocking out. In the next battle, we see Porygon in the lead. Very, very spicy. I remember this trainer, they're actually called Porygon God, and they're actually running Porygon, which is kind of mad. With double fighter in the back, we make the pivot into Primeape, baiting out Florges. Nice to bait this thing out so Annihilape doesn't have to see it. We send out Drapion, the opponent doesn't commit to the Moonblast, which I'm very grateful of. They certainly could have got there, so a bit of a mistake from my opponent. They now send out Donphan. Donphan gonna have a nice little drink. The opponent not willing to shield the Aqua Tail. We make the pivot into Annihilape, baiting back out Porygon. I'm not even messing around, baiting any ridiculous close combat. We're just going to fire off the Rage Fist, look for the 1 shield, a full counter farm down. I think this opponent might actually die with 2 shields. They force in the Zap Cannon, which we shield. Annihilape leaves boosted, back out, comes Donphan. We've even got an Aqua Tail banked on Drapion. We fire off the Rage Fist. The opponent recognises there's nothing they can do, tank the damage, and save 2 shields for next season. GG's to that opponent, and very nice spice. Heading into the next battle, we found ourselves another core breaker. Gliscor hitting for super effective with the sand attacks and can one-shot with an earthquake. We've got double fighter in the back, which don't particularly do well into flying types. We're able to land the Aqua Tail and reach Aqua Tail number 2. The first one went unshielded and the second one does force a protect shield. I'll be honest, it smells like a bait, so we hit the instant no shield. The opponent fire off the aerial ace. This again is only an aerial ace. Judging by the damage the last one did, we should survive this. And if we survive, rather than get farmed down, we're going to make the pivot into Primeape. Of course, Primeape not particularly good into Gliscor. Ice Punch would be super effective. We haven't got it. I farm to the Ice Punch, throw the Rage Fist. The opponent tanked the damage. At this point, we can just shield and Karate Chop farm down. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down, make the pivot into Virizion. And you know the drill. We are full sending, close combat, rocks the opponent deep into the red health range. Primeape is just such a nuke monster. My god, it's fun to run. Leaf Blade picks up the knockout. I'm going to wait out my clock, counter farm down Annihilape, and then we've got a shield and a potential sack swap. Annihilape gets the counter farm down. The opponent clearly don't want the smoke, recognising Gliscor would get counter farm down, and they concede the match. In the next battle, we see Shadow Typhlosion in the lead, a terrifying Pokemon. The opponent doesn't even farm up to the Blast Burns. I'm going to tank the damage, but even a non-stab Thunder Punch did a lot. The opponent then makes the pivot into Galarian Moltres, and I send out Annihilape. The opponent farm to a Brave Bird. I'm thinking potentially going to look to nuke me, and they do. I'm then going to fire off the Rage Fist. Rage Fist won't be lethal, but if it goes unshielded, we'll be able to counter farm down afterwards. Annihilape does get that counter farm down. I'm really hoping Typhlosion re-enters the arena, but they actually send out Gliscor. I know the opponent's never throwing, so I'm just going to fire off the boosted close combat, minimising the farm they'll get. Gliscor is a problem for me. I've tanked the Thunder Punch. We've probably found ourselves in liquidation range. So I'm thinking, what should I do here? We're going to send out Primeape. One Aerial Ace is survivable and the liquidation as well. We tank the Aerial Ace. The opponent then ends up playing to the CMP tie. They do not win. And this should now put them into crunch range. Drapion now, the tough task, with a shield, looking to sweep the back line. I send back out Drapion. The opponent makes the pivot back into Typhlosion. We fire off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. At this point, I'm thinking I'm not on 1 HP, so win con's quite simple. If one Poison Sting and the Aqua Tail knock out Typhlosion, I've now got a crunch bank. The question is Aqua Tail enough to knock out? Oh, invisible HP. The opponent survives. Close game, but unfortunately, I do not emerge victorious. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see Pangoro in the lead. Of course, with 2 fighting types, we may as well pivot into one of them, looking to bait out the best fighting type counter. We make that pivot into Primeape, baiting out Clefable. The opponent farms to the Moonblast, but I smell a Swift bait. The opponent fire off the Swift. My Primeape is a perfect rank 1. Best buddy as well, so I'm hoping the opponent unable to fare him when farming down before the next Rage Fist is reached. Unfortunately, we don't get there. And heartbreakingly, we're now going to have to tank a Moonblast to the face. Of course, if you're going to run Pangoro, you're going to have 2 anti-fighters in the back. So things not looking fantastic. I make the pivot into Annihilape. The opponent takes a long time before making the pivot into Gator. Of course, I'm just going to go Rage Fist all the way. The opponent opts to shield the first one, which is very nice for me. These boosted counters are now tearing through the HP. Of course, with 2 shields, I will be shielding as well. I'm going to farm up, throw the Rage Fist on the CMP tie. Rage Fist forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and now I've got to be very, very careful. The opponent might look to snipe me with that Night Slash they've got banked. So I'm looking top right, back out comes Pangoro. Have we managed to catch the Night Slash? Yes, we have. Drapion going to unleash the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail won't be lethal, but will leave them low. The opponent look for that Karate Chop farm down, which they do. We're going to reach one further Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail will be moving the bear from the field of play. Back out comes Gator. 2 free counters, knockout. 2, 3. Oof. This time, the close victory is going to go to me. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see Shadow Gator in the lead. Nice to catch it in the lead. Primeape, not too bad into it in even energy, but behind an energy is very scary. A neutral Hydro Cannon with 5 Shadow Claws knocks out Primeape. I pause a turn, ensuring my crunch isn't caught, and the opponent sends out Zygarde. I end up throwing the Rage Fist on what looks like to be a CMP tie. Annihilape has a losing matchup against Zygarde, but I'm just looking to get some value out of it. It's my least favoured matchup against the Gator we've seen in the lead. The opponent fire off the Bulldoze. We're able to withstand the damage and reach Rage Fist number 2. This Rage Fist won't quite be lethal, but does force a Protect Shield, and the opponent doesn't even commit to the Dragon Tail farm down. You know what we're going to do. We've got shield advantage with Primeape. We send out Primeape, throw 4 Karate Chops, go straight for the Rage Fist, looking to secure the knockout and vamp up my own attack. Rage Fist removes Zygarde, aka Optimus Prime, from the field of play, and back out comes Gator. I don't want to debuff my own defense just yet. I'm just going to go for the Rage Fist. Rage Fist goes unshielded. The opponent looking to get off all the quick move damage they physically can. Out comes Rhyperior. This game is signed, sealed, and delivered. We throw the Rage Fist. Rage Fist force the final Protect Shield. Quick switch into Drapion. If the first Aqua Tail isn't lethal, which it is, we had another one anyway. Double super effective damage, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see the Kitty with Claws, Berserker, a very cool pick. I say switch into Primeape. The opponent takes a long time before sending out Zapdos. The opponent might have the typing advantage. But let me tell you, do not give Primeape a huge energy lead. We're able to land the first Rage Fist, throw the second Rage Fist on the CMP side. Yes, Zapdos, you might have a high attack, but not as high as the mighty Primeape. I'm more than happy to match Protect Shields. Again, we're going to throw 4 Karate Chops as the Drill Peck Pacing is 5 for the first and 4 for the second. Primeape once again wins the charge attack priority and is a Zapdos counter confirmed. Out comes Cresselia. Primeape now 3-stage boosted, fires off the next Rage Fist, doing half their health. The opponent looking for that Psycho Cut farm down, but Primeape running rampant, reached another Rage Fist. Rage Fist forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and this game's over. We send out Drapion. The opponent pivots back out into Berserker, and we're just going to use Annihilape to soak some energy. The opponent goes for the Trailblaze. We look for the counter farm down. Unfortunately, unable to get it. We don't need to shield Annihilape. We're just going to double resisted. Poison Sting farm down. Berserker back out comes Cresselia. No one move is going to be lethal. And this opponent actually goes for the Grass Knot bait. Trainer, that bait will not save your fate. We've got the Crunch locked and loaded, and Drapion is going to clean up. GG's, and thanks for playing. A very nice rage quit as well from that opponent. Heading into the next battle, this time we see Zygarde in the lead. I'm going to throw 7 Poison Stings and the Crunch. I'm then going to look to throw 1 Poison Sting, anticipating the opponent throwing at good timing and catch the Bulldoze onto Primeape. This opponent's an insta-throwing Andy, as my friend King GBL would say. They fire off the Bulldoze. Bulldoze is super effective, it doesn't do all that much damage. The opponent then sends out Gastrodon. I remember this battle. Jamie, look at that timing. Horrendous. We end up throwing on alignment. A lot of content creators would have cut that out, as it is very, very embarrassing. But these are straight sets, so you can enjoy me playing like a potato in this battle. The next time I do throw the correct 1 Karate Chop and the Rage Fist. I look for the Karate Chop farmed out. Unfortunately, unable to get it before the Body Slam's reached. Body Slam does knock me out. We're going to send out Annihilape to get a running start. Of course, this is going to be the team that purple Kyogre Rond with Licky far too thicky in the back. So despite being down in protection, I'm feeling pretty good about the situation. I'm very, very surprised to see them not shield at the Rage Fist. Am I wrong? Is it something other than Licky far too thicky in the back? Let's find out. Nope, that's a Lickitung. We farm to the close combat, fire off the Rage Fist, force to Protect Shield, and we boost up our counters once again. This is only a Body Slam. Body Slam is double resisted and will not knock out. We tank the Body Slam. We're going to throw the close combat, guaranteeing the final protection or cleanly removing them from the field of play. The opponent invests that final protection. We make the pivot back into Drapion. Is Crunch enough to knock out from here? Licky, far too thicky, living up to its nickname, able to hang on. We are going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Body Slam. Drapion able to Poison Sting farm down, and despite my horrendous alignment throw in the mid game, we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Shadow Typhlosion once again in the lead position. This opponent at least looking to farm up to a potential Blast Burn. To go for the correct 7 Poison Stings and the Aqua Tail, only giving the opponent 1 free turn. The opponent still reluctant to throw, so again 2 Poison Stings and the next Aqua Tail, and just like that, this opponent finds himself all shields down. I'm hoping we can survive a Thunder Punch. Unfortunately unable to do so, we have got ourselves a 2-0 shield advantage. This could of course be the Blast Burn, and we are definitely respecting that the opponent fire off the Thunder Punch, then opt to throw back to back. I want to keep my Primeape healthy. I'm more than happy to chill at this Thunder Punch. I'm then going to throw 4 Karate Chops and the Rage Fist. This means that next Incinerate will not register, and we also leave boosted. Down goes Typhlosion. The opponent sends out their own Shadow Primeape behind an Energy. Trainer, if this is your best response, you're in trouble. Close combat, picks up the one shot. Out comes Greninja to make a very brief cameo appearance. It's going to be straight in and straight out with Primeape sweeping the back line. GG's, and thanks for playing. So I've played 4 sets with the team that you've seen today. I went 5-0, 4-1, 4-1, 5-0. I actually made sure to include both losses in today's video for complete transparency. So yesterday we started at 2,139 elo. As you can see there, we are currently at 2,550 elo, gaining 411 points in just 7 sets. We've currently gone 32 wins, only taking 3 losses. But of course, as we continue to climb, opposition will keep getting better and more losses will inevitably follow. So for tomorrow, I don't really know what team I'm going to run. So I'm going to ask you lot to suggest a fun team that hopefully I can continue my climb with. So if you've got a fun team, post it down below. Enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to our battle submission form is down below, and as always, a huge thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.